Here's a really quick routine that you can incorporate to improve mobility in your upper back and your shoulders. We're going to start kneeling on our hands and knees. As you set up, spread your fingertips out wide and try to organize so that your shoulders are right above your hands and your knees are under your hips. Before you start moving, push your body away from the floor with both your arms and legs so you can sense your rib cage flat against your shoulder blades. In this first movement, you're going to try to keep your back neutral. So try to imagine that your head, your ribs, and your hips are all in a line, like maybe you're on a skewer, and you're going to shift your body weight backwards and forwards, limiting the size to how far you can move while maintaining neutral. Even though this is an upper back and shoulder workout, I want you to be aware of your hips as you do this. Feel where your sit bones are. They should be pointing towards the wall behind you. And that's your limit going backwards, how far you can reach while the sit bones still point backwards. And then when you're going forward, you can take that weight a little farther forward than your wrists. All right, now settle back into where you're centered with your weight even over your limbs. And we're going to go into a couple cat stretches. When you exhale, tuck your tailbone under and start to flex your spine. Feel your shoulder blades spread apart and your head hang down to complete your C shape. Now stay there and take a slow breath in to the back and the sides of your ribs. When you exhale, stick out your tailbone and start to lengthen your spine. We're going to come through neutral, then lift the chest and chin to come into a slight extension. Stay there and take another breath in. On your exhale, start to curl the hips again. You'll feel like you're pushing yourself away from the floor at the knees, then the arms as you spread apart those shoulder blades and hang your head. Hold for your inhale and see if you can draw your head and your tailbone closer together. And then when you exhale, start to roll back out. Keep the sense of pushing away from the floor so your shoulder blades are still flat against the ribs even as they come together to bring you into extension. Hold here, inhale. And then exhale, tuck your tail under one more time. Keep the weight even between the arms and the legs as you flex. Hold here for one more breath in, and then let's roll it back out. Feel the exhale compressing your abs as you reach your tail towards the back wall, and then lift your heart and your chin to look at the front wall. All right, back to your neutral again. Now we're going to thread the needle. So you're going to take one arm off the floor, shift your weight back like we did in that first hinge, and we're going to rotate, reaching the arm under for 3 pulses. Little deeper for 2, and further for 1. And then inhale, come back to the center. Let's switch arms. With every pulse, do both an increase of the twist, but also of the shift backwards towards your heels and back to center. Exhale, rotate, make sure the head and neck are following. 2, and further for 3. Back to the center, and visualize that the turning side's getting a little lower towards the floor with every pulse of the hips. And back to center, one more each way. Rotate for 1, a little deeper for 2, and further for 3. Inhale, back to the center, other side for 3, deeper for 2, and further for 1, and then back to the center. Let's get down onto your belly. You're going to lay with your legs straight. They're parallel, so you can put them together or slightly separated. And you're going to make a W with your arms into the floor. Now we're going to focus on extending your upper back to make sure that we keep tension out of the low back. Pay attention to your pelvis. And right now, if you feel what's touching the mat, your 2 hip bones if you rock side to side, but you can also press your pubic bone into the mat a little bit. Give that pressure, just a touch extra on your pubic bone, and you'll feel that that activates your glute muscles. You want to keep them active to avoid overworking your low back. All right, here we go. Take an inhale to prepare. Now when you exhale, you're going to start to lift your head and chest away from the mat while you pull your shoulder blades back and down as if drawing a V into your mid-back. And I'm going to stop when there's 1 or 2 ribs still left touching the floor. Stay here and take a breath in. On your exhale, compress your abs and start to lower back down, releasing your ribs, your neck, and your head. Stay at the bottom, take a breath in, and visualize getting longer. Now when you exhale, press away from the floor, presenting your heart as it comes up off the mat. Now as you breathe in, let the breath expand your chest even more, like it's pulling your rib cage forward, and then exhale as you lower back down. We're going to do that 2 more times. Breathe in at the bottom. When you exhale, try to draw your elbows towards your feet. Now, they're not really going to move, but that sense of kind of dragging on the floor helps you press your chest forward as it rises up. Stay here, take your breath in, feel those ribs expand. And when you exhale, compress your abs, lower down, one rib at a time till you're flat. Last time, inhale at the bottom. When you start to lift, let your gaze lead the way. So you want to look off the end of the mat and then let the ribs start to extend. Remember to leave one or two anchored when you reach the top of the move. Hold here, take a breath in, and then exhale as you lower back down. Now just prop yourself up like an inch or so you're hovering just above the mat. This one's called the Windshield Wiper. You're going to take one arm, you're going to extend it and reach it across to the opposite side of the mat, and then inhale, come back to the center. And we'll switch arms in this one. Exhale, reach across. Inhale, back to center. So as I reach that arm over, I'm also coming into a side bend with my upper body. So make sure you let your head and your neck tip with you. And this will give you a nice stretch through your lat. So you might feel this running all the way up your back into your shoulder. And let's do one more to each side, reaching up and over, back to center, and then up and over and back to center. All right, next exercise is called the windmill. For the first couple rounds, I want you to keep your nose as close to the ground as you can without touching it. And you're going to reach your arms straight out to the side. Now I've lifted them off the mat, so they're also hovering. Very gently draw your shoulder blades in toward your spine. So just enough to know you've activated the muscles between them. Now I'm going to bend both of my elbows, bringing one hand to the back of my head, one hand to the back of my sacrum. So palm at the head, back of the hand at the sacrum, and then both arms back out to the sides. And then I'm going to switch hands and then back out to the sides. So I'm seeing back of your head and your sacrum as a target. If you need this workout, you may not be able to reach that far. So just go in the general direction. Now pause for a second. If you want to make it a little more challenging, come up into a slightly higher hover. Make sure you still have that energy between the blades, and then go back to the arm motion. And if that feels too intense or you feel a lot of strain in the low back, ignore that last change and just stay with that really low nose hover. Let's do one more to each side. Back to the middle, and then the other side, center, come on back down. From here, you're going to sit back into the shell stretch, or child's pose if you know it that way. And we're just going to round forward like you're bowing. Now stay there, take a nice slow breath in, focus in the air into the back and the sides of your body. Hold here for an exhale, compressing your abs a little bit deeper. You're going to take one more breath in to stay there. And then when you exhale, you're going to roll back up. If you're okay sitting on your heels, I want you to stay here. If this isn't a great position for you, just sit with your legs out in front of you. You're going to place your hands behind your head. We're just going to do one more round of mobilization. On your exhale, I want you to round forward and allow your elbows to sink in as you curl your spine. When you inhale, you're going to roll all the way up, go past neutral and look up at the ceiling. As you exhale, curl forward again. Inhale, rise up, lifting your heart. Exhale, round forward. I want you to keep going down and up. I'm just going to switch how I'm sitting. I feel like that's only fair for those who cannot sit on their heels. And then all the way up. Let's do that 2 more times. Rounding down, using your exhale like you're deflating. And then fill up. I want you to feel buoyant as you come up into that extension. 1 more time. Flexing forward, elbows sinking in. And then inhale all the way back up, looking to the ceiling. All right, you're done. Have a great day.